Hey guys, what's going on? It's Alex here with Week 4 NFL predictions. Now I know I said Week 1 was going to be the only one that I filmed from my car, but things happen a little bit, and I'm going to be late on this video too, but I'm going to still have it out on Thursday. So, let's just jump right into it. Last week was looking like a rough week, but then a couple crazy comebacks happened. Finished last week 10-5-1. That puts my record at 33-14-1. So, not a bad record still. We've been 10 plus wins each week. I'll take it. So this week, we're going to get things rolling with, I got me a whiteboard now, and it's not showing up good. But first up, we're going to have Denver at the Jets. With the number 1 overall pick, the New York Jets are going to take Trevor Lawrence because the Jets are going to lose this one. Denver, just overall the better team this year. New York Jets are tanking big time. Sam Darnold is not the long-term answer. I do not see the Jets making it past the 2020 NFL draft without a quarterback, or the 2021 NFL draft without a quarterback. Denver, on the other hand, it looks like Drew Lock is getting a lot more comfortable under center. Pretty solid performance against Pittsburgh, even with the loss. So, I don't even think they played Pittsburgh last week, but whatever. Denver's still looking like the more solid team here. Next up, we've got New Orleans at Detroit. I'm going to give it another win to the visiting team. New Orleans is going to take this one. This one could go either way, looking at how Detroit handled last week with the Cardinals. They seem to win the games that they shouldn't win and lose the games that they should. However, I think New Orleans is going to bounce back here. Michael Thomas is he's questionable this week, but I think he is going to make it back. So I think the New Orleans Saints run away with this one. Detroit, I think they just got lucky against Arizona. Arizona was definitely the better team, but Detroit played better any given Sunday. All right, next up, LA Chargers at Tampa Bay. I'm going to give it to the home team here. Tampa Bay is going to win this one. The Chargers looked solid against Kansas City. I wasn't expecting an overtime game, but I'll take it. It was a pretty awesome game to watch. So I've got to take Tampa Bay on this one just because, I don't know. Tampa Bay, they're playing at home. They got things going good last week. So I think Tom Brady and Chris Godwin are going to be the number 2 and top players from this game. All right, Jacksonville and Cincinnati. I'm going to sound crazy. I'm going to sound completely crazy. Because you guys are going to laugh at me. I said Cincinnati started 4-0. They're going to take the win in Jacksonville. Is wrong 2.5 times already. What's one more? Cincinnati is actually slated. Cincinnati is projected to win this game. I just like their odds. Gardner Minshew performed poorly against the Miami Dolphins. Cincinnati, they held their own against the Eagles, and I don't know if that's a big accomplishment yet or not. We'll have to see later on in the season. But I like Cincinnati's odds here to win. And, yeah, I'm going to hope for the best because I don't want to be wrong 4 weeks in a row on my own team. Yeah. And by the way, Joe Burrow is playing pretty amazing football given the circumstances of what he's in. I'll take it. All right, next up, we've got Minnesota and Houston. Now, I think this is the week Houston gets their first win. Minnesota got curb stomped by the Colts. They bounced back a little bit this week, but I still think Houston's going to take this one. Houston's coming off of 3 rough weeks in a row. Minnesota is definitely the weakest opponent of the 4 that they faced. I think Deshaun Watson's going to start to get things going. Brandon Cooks is going to perform well, and I don't think Minnesota's going to be able to stop him. So I'm going to take Houston to win this week. Next up, we've got Seattle and Miami. I'm going to give this one to Seattle. Seattle did come a little close for comfort against the Dallas Cowboys, but now they're going to play Miami. As much as I hate to say it, Miami is not anywhere close to as good as Dallas. So I think Seattle's going to come right in. Russell Wilson's going to have another, I'm going to say he's going to have another at least 4 touchdown performance. And Miami's going to be lucky to break 20 points. So I think Seattle just runs away with this one. Next up, we've got Cleveland at Dallas. Now, these are 2 teams that have been overhyped for the last couple years. I mean, Cleveland, they have all the weapons there and still managed to go 8-8. Dallas, same situation. They've got probably a top 3 running back in the NFL right now. One of the best receiving cores, one of the strongest O-lines, and a pretty solid defense. And yet they're still sitting at 1-2 right now. So, okay, cool. So I'm gonna take Dallas to win this one, just by the merit of them playing the Browns. I don't think the Browns are gonna go 3-1 this week. They're gonna fall to 2-2, as all things should be. Cleveland's not allowed to be above 500 for very long. I think Dak Prescott, I mean, he did just throw for over 400 yards against Seattle. He's going to tear up the Cleveland defense. I don't think they're going to be ready for Dak Prescott to have another phenomenal performance. And last of our first 8 games, Arizona at Carolina. This one's an easy choice for me. I'm going to have to go with Arizona on this one. For the sole purpose, like I said before, I think Arizona just got unlucky against Detroit. Detroit, really should not have been able to win that game. I think Arizona's going to have a bounce back week this week. Kyler Murray's going to get back in the zone. DeAndre Hopkins, Larry Fitzgerald are going to go off on this poor Carolina defense. Carolina sitting without Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey is definitely the strongest component of the Carolina Panthers. As much as I love Teddy Bridgewater, he needs a solid running back to go with him. The receiving core is kind of weak, too. I mean, Robbie Anderson is like one of the #1 targets. Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore. Let's say that. Anywhere else, I think neither of these guys are a wide receiver 1. So I'm going to have to go with Arizona on this one. Next up, we've got on our back 7, because I did forget to say this is the first week we've had a COVID-19 postponed game. Tennessee and Pittsburgh not going to be on this week. So there will be only 15 games here, so it's going to mess up my counts a little bit. All right, so first up, we've got Indianapolis at Chicago. This one, I'm going to go with Chicago, just because I like Nick Foles better than Mitch Trubisky. And I'm going to say as long as Nick Foles starts, Chicago wins this game. Indianapolis torched Minnesota, but they've not done much after that. They did have an amazing defensive performance last week, but again, they were playing the Jets. So, as good as that performance was, is kind of not as important because they were playing against the number 32 team in the league. Thank God it's not the Bengals. I can say all that. But yeah, I like Indianapolis, but I don't think they're going to be able to win against Chicago. I mean, the Chicago defense is one of the best. I don't think Phillip Rivers is going to be the same Phillip Rivers that we saw in San Diego for most of his career. So I'm going to have to take Chicago to win this one. All right. Next up, we've got Baltimore and Washington. Another easy choice for me. There's no way that the Baltimore Ravens are losing to the Washington football team. Lamar Jackson had the weakest performance of his career last week. Only 97 total yards for Lamar Jackson. I don't see him doing that 2 weeks in a row. Washington is not anywhere close to as good as Kansas City. So I think Baltimore's just going to run away with this one. No questions asked. I don't see Washington's offense being able to do much against the Baltimore defense. Next up, we got the New York Giants and the LA Rams. As much as I want to root for the Giants here, got to go for the Rams. The Rams have been looking pretty solid this year, looking to go in a great 8-8, maybe 9-7 if they're lucky. So I see, but New York Giants, another team that's got the parts there, but they're not able to do anything with it. And especially with Saquon Barkley being out for the year, Giants are pretty much dropping down to a top 5 draft pick this year. And I'm going to guarantee that Giants are going to be lucky to win in the first 8 games of the season. I don't think they're going to start winning until teams start playing their backup people. The Rams, on the other hand, have been looking pretty good after losing Brandon Cooks and Todd Gurley in free agency, or trading, anything like that. I like the Rams' odds to win this game, and like I said, I think the Rams are going to go 9-7 on a good day. they are playing in probably the toughest division in football. But yeah. All right, next up is New England and Kansas City. This game is always a good game. New England puts up the best matchups with Kansas City and Seattle, and that's not even a debate. But this one, I'm going to have to go with Kansas City. I think Kansas City wins this one. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is looking solid. New England, they're still working with their new quarterback, and a whole bunch of people out who opted out because of COVID-19. So I don't think New England's going to be ready to stop Kansas City just yet. The pieces are there, but they're just not in sync just yet. Now, I do see Cam Newton having a pretty solid game. I'm going to say he throws for at least 250 yards and probably 2 scores. Yep. Next up, we've got Buffalo at the Raiders. Buffalo at Las Vegas. I'm going to have to take Buffalo on this one. I think Buffalo goes 4-0 to start the season. For the sole matter is Josh Allen is having a career year. He's set to pass, I think he's set to pass 5,000 yards for the first time in his career. He's already thrown 12 touchdowns in 3 games. He is on fire. And the rest of the supporting cast for the Buffalo Bills is amazing as well. I mean, Devin Singletary, the defense, everything is in place and everything is performing solid. The Raiders, I mean, they're doing good as well, but I don't see them being better than Buffalo. They managed to squeak out wins against New Orleans, so I think I'm going to have to take Buffalo on this one. Next up, we have Philadelphia and San Francisco. This one's another easy pick. San Francisco 49ers did not just tie the Cincinnati Bengals, so I have to go with San Francisco here. San Francisco, they might not be a Super Bowl contender this year. It's good that they have depth at the defensive line position and defensive end. So that's the only thing keeping them up here. Nick Mullins did a lot better than I thought he would last week. I'm still not sold on him being a starting quarterback really anywhere. He's a career backup, but he's a pretty damn good one. Philadelphia, on the other hand, Carson Wentz. I'm not a fan of Carson Wentz. I mean, he performed poorly against the Cincinnati defense. As much as I love my Bengals, the defense is not solid at all. It's probably ranked 30 defense, maybe 28 to 30, somewhere in there. So the fact that Carson Wentz threw as many interceptions as he did and struggled to get first downs, that's a sure sign to me that Philadelphia is not going to contend for the NFC East this year. I think Philadelphia goes 0-4 to start their season. San Francisco moves to 3-1. And last but not least, we have Atlanta and Green Bay. Now, this one I think is going to be a shootout, but I think Green Bay is going to pull away with this one. Now, this one, for the simple fact, Green Bay is probably one of the best teams in the NFC right now. They're probably going to be in the NFC conference game, and they're going to contend for a shot at the Super Bowl. As I've said the past several weeks, Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams are in mid-season form, still performing amazing, still one of the top fantasy picks at either position, and their defense has been pretty solid as well. They've been holding teams to very few points. Atlanta, on the other hand, has choked 2 games in a row. I don't think they're going to get the opportunity to choke this game. I think Green Bay is going to take the lead early, and they're going to hold on to it for the entire game. I mean, it's just Atlanta at this point. Masters of the choke. But anyway, that is my picks for week 4. So I'm going to say this is going to be a good week for me. Anyway, guys, if you guys like this video, hit that like button down below. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to help the channel, hit that share button. Share to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you feel right. Thanks for being part of the Uncrafted Nation. I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye, everybody.